Good morning, I'm in bright pink. This is reflecting my mood today. I'm in a good mood. I was in a bad mood, mood swingy for like a week or two, and I'm feeling happy. It may be the sunshine, you know, because it's been sunny the last couple of days. My yoga teacher was like, because I said to her last week that I was feeling a bit low and moody, and she was like, you know, you underestimate things like the moon and things like the weather. We're affected by these things as humans, and we had such a gorgeous sunny period. And then we had like 2 weeks of stormy, rainy, windy weather. And that change in temperature and moisture and even just lack of being outside as much can really impact your feelings and your mood swings. And I just, yeah, I'm feeling so much better. It's been so sunny the last couple of days and it's glorious today. So I'm feeling very sunny, and that's why I've got this dress on. I got this on Vinted, which is perfect because it's got this ruchy, I'll show you maybe when I get home, it's got a ruchy boobie area because my boobs are growing, and then it's floaty at the bottom to accommodate for bump. I got it in a size up, which I recommend. Like if you're pregnant, I really haven't bought maternity clothes. I know there's pros and cons. Some people like to buy lots of maternity clothes. I actually haven't. I've just bought a few dresses in a size up and that's about it. Maybe a pair of trousers or two in a size up. Anyway, this morning we're going to the shops. I'm going to be filming a couple of recipes so I can share the recipes with you as well. So we're going to be making some vegan rock cakes, which are delicious. And if you haven't had them before, I used to be obsessed with them when I was little. And also a vegan Caesar salad if I have time. We'll see how I get on with that, but I'm going to buy the ingredients at the very least because it's such a great recipe. It's all I'm craving at this time. Like when it's sunny, it's just, you just want like a nice big salad, and making it vegan is quite easy. So I've got my protein bar, got my bag. Let's go to the shop. I would have stayed at home, but I had 40 grams too little flour. A nice and quick, easy shop. I managed to pick up 2 more of those cushions. I've been looking every time I've been, but they haven't had them in stock. I think I shared a couple weeks ago. They've got some lovely striped cushions from Sainsbury's for the outdoor area. Yeah, if you're in Sainsbury's, they're lovely. They're stripy. They've got them in an orangey kind of terracotta colour or a green and cream, depending on the colour palette you like, but the green and cream one I went for. I also got the really cute little Winnie the Pooh little baby grow. I'm not going to buy him any more clothes because I've got so many from my sister, and as my niece gets older she can pass on so many more of her clothes. Very, very lucky. So it's just a little bit of joy and excitement seeing the baby clothes and getting them for myself. Let's go home and do some baking. These are the cushions I was talking about. I've just chopped the labels off. They had really chunky labels. How good are these? And they were, how much were they? Oh, I don't know. Need the label, need the receipt. Where's the receipt? Let's have a look, shall we? £8. So that's really great. So now we've got 2 more. This is the dress in full. I matched the hydrangeas, I'll show you them. My dad gave me to them when I left my parents' house on Father's Day, because they have the most incredible hydrangea bushes. I'm so jealous. Seeing them this summer, and I just keep seeing hydrangeas. They're just so common everywhere in Cornwall. I just want so many hydrangeas in my garden. Anyway, this is my dress. These kinds of dresses really emphasise your bump, which is kind of lovely because they kind of really ruche in under your boobs. Isn't that right, Bobby? And I just really love this colour. I just feel like it's a colour I don't wear enough, but I think suits me well. So I would like to get more pinks and reds like this in my wardrobe. What other fun bits did I get? I did get a load of socks because I keep running out of socks. These just caught my eye and I just thought, how pretty. They've got like little flowers, and this one's like a little cable knit one. So they're going to be perfect. Everything else is just ingredients. Here's a little hack for you. If you are trying to reduce your spending, and obviously certain things like olive oil have gone up in price. Obviously this is a luxury item to begin with, extra virgin olive oil. You do not need to get extra virgin. But if you are a cook and love cooking, but are trying to keep on a bit of a budget, get the huge tins like this. This is from Sainsbury's. and this is 70p per 100ml, whereas everything else was at least £1 and up. Like the ones around it were like £1.40, £1.50. It's so much cheaper, and then I just decant it into a little drizzler, and it's just so much cheaper. Obviously it's expensive to buy this. How much is this? Whoops. So that was £14, but obviously it's just cheaper per milliliter. Little hack for you. And then this is the adorable little Winnie the Pooh and strawberry, just a little jumpsuit kind of thing. It's just so sweet. I've been avoiding buying anything newborn. I don't know how big my baby's going to be, but both me and Alex are tall. So she might not be heavy, but she might be a bit longer. So things like this are probably more suitable. I've heard just lots of people who are like, our baby just skipped the newborn phase and they were straight into 0 to 3 months or 3 to 6 months. Alex's favourite thing when he was little was Winnie the Pooh. This is not my favourite angle, but I left my tripod at Newlyn. So you're a bit lower down. We're gonna make a vegan Caesar salad for lunch. You can do this with tofu, or this isn't chicken is my favourite. Any kind of like vegan chicken alternative. I do it both ways. They both taste delicious. And then I like to use ciabatta for the croutons, and we're going to make a really yummy creamy homemade dressing to go with it. We've got some really lovely fresh romaine that I need to wash. I'm so excited to eat this, oh my goodness. So I'm just going to chop this ciabatta up into like bite-sized cubes. You can do this with stale bread as well. And then I've got a baking tray. I'm just going to add this to a baking tray with olive oil, seasoning, and then we can bake this in the oven so that the ciabatta turns into some nice crispy croutons. You can also do this in a frying pan. It's just easier to do it in the oven to save the faff of standing there with the frying pan. Now we can make our dressing. So I'm just going to add everything into the blender, blend it up all good and smooth. This is honestly one of the tastiest dressings. You could use it for so many things. It's so delicious. Here they are, perfectly crispy out the oven. So delicious. So now I'm just mixing together my vegan chicken and seasoning, and then we'll fry this. You can use tofu, you can use any vegan chicken that you can get your hands on, but I'm just gonna toss it with some olive oil, salt and pepper and lemon, just really simple, and a bit of garlic powder before frying it up in the frying pan. I'm just going to chuck it in the frying pan until it's all nice and golden. Now we can assemble the salads. I've got this huge bowl. I got these on Nisbets and they're so handy. I got this size, a medium and a small. I'm going to throw in loads of crispy romaine lettuce, drizzle with the dressing, add the chicken, and I always save a bit of dressing just for topping, for extra. And then you can put some of the croutons in, or just put the croutons on top if you want them to stay crispy, depending on what you prefer. And you've got the perfect Caesar salad. So there we have it. I've layered the dressed lettuce with the vegan chicken, the croutons, and then I've shaved some vegan cheese on there. That's like a nice little tip. To kind of replicate Parmesan, I've used the Cathedral City Mature, and then I've drizzled extra dressing on top. Right, let's do a taste test. Let us do a taste test. This truly hits the spot. This has to be one of the best salads out there, doesn't it? I love the little bits of shaved vegan cheese. Also, you could do breaded vegan chicken, which is maybe a bit simpler. You could just buy a frozen packet of breaded vegan chicken, put that in the oven, and then just put that on top, warm. Because you could just do a simplified version where you just do the lettuce, the dressing, and the breaded chicken and don't worry about the croutons and just keep it really simple. Or you can do tofu. Tofu is another great option. You could air fry some tofu and make it really crispy. I'm gonna enjoy this and wolf it down because it's just exactly what I would be craving right now. In this heat, it's so hot I don't even want to sit outside because we don't have a parasol. We really need to get one. I don't think it's advisable at this stage of pregnancy to get too hot. I'm hot in here. So if I sit out in the sun, I'll just get too hot. So I'll just go out there later, probably with a cup of tea. I changed my mind. It's actually quite windy, so it's not too hot at all. So it's actually kind of perfect.
Leaf sweeper.
Yeah.
Self-emptying lawn sweeper kit. Ooh.
Just doing some light garden reading. My quick start guide. It is very windy, so I might struggle and I might do a voiceover. But we've got this new lawnmower, which is so incredible, and we're just setting it up. We've got it on charge, we've connected it to the app. Alex is now setting up the kind of satellite station, which it's an AI robot lawnmower basically that mows your lawn for you, and it needs the reference point in the middle of the lawn to then be able to know, I guess, the shape of your garden. But it's just so fascinating, and I feel like I'm going to do some videos now of us setting up and using it for the first time. But I'm going to do a voiceover because you will not hear me. It's so windy, I'm worried about what this clip's going to be like. I have been so excited about this, it's ridiculous, because we so often don't get to mow the lawn because it just becomes like a low priority, and this is just perfect for us. So windiness, let's switch to voiceover. So we were kindly sent the YUKA series 2-in-1 robot mower and lawn sweeper from Mammotion. It is something I've been so excited to try. It's just such a cool concept, and I've only been seriously impressed since getting it. This is the world's first 2-in-1 self-emptying lawn sweeping mower. It has UltraSense AI vision. Its key features are just incredible. The things that this can do is so cool. So the UltraSense AI vision means that it avoids obstacles. It has dual cutting discs with 5 blades and 320 millimeters cutting width. It has a very easy to use app to control the mower, and superior terrain adaptability means that it can work on a sloped garden like ours. Our garden probably looks less sloped in videos than it is in real life, and this can make it harder to mow the lawn. But this little robot had no problems. It's pet and kid friendly, which is of course very important with our 2 fur babies and 1 on the way. The thing that I found just the coolest about this mower is that it's self-emptying. So you set up an automatic emptying zone so that you can tidy the grass away easily afterwards. You can kind of see it in the time lapses, or you can just set it to drop the lawn cuttings on the grass to enrich the grass if you like. It also steers clear of leaves, debris and twigs. Like I said, it avoids these obstacles, things like trees in your garden, especially if you have a smaller garden, you might have some more obstacles, and it knows to avoid these. As you saw when we were setting it up, the UltraSense AI vision is incredible technology that maps your lawn. It positions the mower accurately, it avoids obstacles, and ensures clean edge cutting. We've been playing around with the settings ever since our initial go at it, and have figured out the perfect cutting height for our lawn. We've noticed how well it cuts the grass to an even length, as well as having the option for a checkerboard striped lawn. The app is very easy to use. You can manage up to 30 mowing zones. You can create customized mowing schedules and different cutting modes for each zone, as well as creating no-go zones. You can also use your Alexa or your Google voice control in your home with voice commands to connect to your mower. Just so futuristic. One of the first things I noticed as well that I was so impressed by was how quiet it is. Obviously lawnmowers are quite loud and it can be a bit annoying. Plus it's waterproof, it's got a cute little garage it can live in, and it detects when it's raining, so it knows the weather and it adjusts the mowing schedule accordingly. I'm just so incredibly impressed. It's been such a cool thing to have the opportunity to review, and it's honestly a game changer. The only thing is you have to obviously figure out how to set it up and make sure it knows your lawn properly. So we had to sort of set up the zones where it's not going to cut to the edge. You definitely have to trim around the edge if you have a garden like ours, where there's lots of trees and bushes around the edge of the garden. It does entirely depend on the type of garden you have. I think that that's still incredible. I wouldn't expect it to be able to reach underneath the trees. But to do the main lawn and get it all cut down so that we can just tidy up around the edges is amazing. So thank you so much, Mammotion, for sending this lawnmower. We're so impressed. And I'll leave a link for you down below if you want to check it out. They've got lots of different options. They've got smaller ones, bigger ones for different sized lawns. And you can see if there's one that could fit your garden. The amount I've been doing this lately, I have a midwife appointment in 10 minutes and I completely forgot that it was at 9:45. I thought it was at 10:15. Baby brain is just hitting so hard. I was in my pyjamas doing a bit of work. I was like sending a brand something before I got dressed, and because I needed to film it in my pyjamas. And then I was like, oh my god, I need to go. I didn't realise because I looked at the calendar. Don't know what made me do that. Anyway, pray for me. Okay, so I made it to the midwife appointment just 5 minutes late and she was fine with it. She was very, very lovely. Baby's measuring great. Pee's great. They do all the tests. They do like someone actually asked me about this because they were like, oh, is it a normal thing in the UK to have midwives? And I guess it's not a thing that's universal. So in the UK, when you get pregnant, you inform your doctor and then they refer you to your local community midwives. And then you go and see your midwives. I think it's at 12 weeks is the first time you see them. Me and Alex booked an 8-week scan because I just wanted to know that I was officially pregnant. I mean, I was, but I wanted to see the baby before Christmas. Yeah, you see your midwife at 12 weeks. They do all of the kind of information on you. So they ask you all about your kind of family history and your health. And they do like blood tests and urine tests. And they just check everything, basically. Check baby, they look at the heartbeat. Or is it at 10 weeks? Do you know what? I don't remember, but maybe it is at 8 weeks. Yeah, you have a midwife appointment at 8 weeks to kind of go through everything. But I think that the scan is at 12 weeks. So that's why I wanted a scan, just to make sure baby was fine. From then you have like regular meetings. So in the first and second trimester, it's not super regular. It's from memory, it's like every couple of months, I think, or every 6 weeks. And then when you reach your third trimester, like now I'm having my appointments. In fact, did I book an appointment with her? Yes, so my next appointment is only in a couple of weeks. You have them every couple of weeks when you're further along in pregnancy. And the next one will be her coming to my house. So actually, does she have my address? Yes, she does. And they do like a kind of at-home check. So they'll like talk to you about your birth preferences specific to being at home. And then obviously look at the house, see if it's suitable, and go through things like what pain relief you want, whether you're going to be having a water birth, whether you want your baby to get vitamin K, how you want to birth your placenta, all those sorts of questions. And I'm having actually an appointment with my doula on Monday with Alex, so we'll probably go through some more of that stuff like birth preferences and positions that Alex can help me with during labour. I don't know how it is in other countries or what it's like, but it just feels very lovely because you see generally, I saw one midwife for most of my pregnancy and she's now gone into the hospital, and then one of the girls who was in the hospital has come into the community midwives. So I've only seen 2 different midwives and they've both been the loveliest girls, similar age to me, and they're just so accommodating. I felt so supported and it's been a really positive experience. So things like, for example, I said from the beginning, I don't want to know my BMI and I don't want to know my weight, and they have been so just like, yeah, of course, no worries. I think at one point accidentally someone told me my BMI, I don't know who, and I was like, oh, for goodness sake. Yeah, like today she had to weigh me again and I was like, oh, I don't want to know, and she was like, yeah, well, it doesn't matter, you're growing a baby. Like they make me feel so good and happy and reassured and stuff. And you know, any concerns I have, like talk to her about my concerns and she'll be like, oh, well, we'll just check that for you, and you get it back really fast. So we did a blood test today and I think I'll find out tomorrow on Saturday or Monday. And it's just a really positive, lovely experience. I mean, I've been very lucky. I've not had any complications throughout pregnancy, so I can't speak to that if people have complications or specific health problems or extra scans and stuff. Obviously, I don't know that experience because I've had a pretty smooth sailing pregnancy in terms of that kind of thing, which is I'm so grateful for, and it makes me very happy that every time I go, I'm like, oh goodness, there's not something that I have to, escalate or go and get a scan for or go check for. I'm very, very grateful, and it means baby's doing so well, and obviously that's what I'm worried about all the time. But yeah, it's been a lovely experience. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that because I feel like I haven't talked much about that experience, and I'm excited for them to come see the house. And I have to think about whether I want to have a water birth. In an ideal world, I would. It's just where in my home, that's the struggle. So I've got to figure that one out. Anyway, I'm gonna go home. It's very hot in this car. It's 27 degrees in this car. So let's go home and I'm gonna have a snack when I get home because I am hungry. Oh, there goes my sunglasses. We're back home. I just shared this on my stories, but this is too neat to not show you as well. So ecover have sent me, or ecover have sent me a package. First of all, it came in this tiny little box. That was it when it arrived, so waste no space. It's literally miniature. I had a conversation with Alex because of dishwasher tablets. We'd just been getting the standard ones from the supermarket. I said to him that I think I'd heard on a podcast or I'd read somewhere about microplastics, and I guess some of the places where they're the most, like, they're higher. So things like obviously plastic packaging for food that you heat up. But I think that when I read that article or read the information, it said something about dishwasher tablets because obviously that ends up on your cutlery and your plates. And so they've come up with this, which is just exactly what I wanted. Alex said that they are in the supermarket, he's seen them. So these are all-in-one dishwasher tablets, no plastic wrappers, biodegradable formula, 40% more enzymes. And on the middle it says, once upon a time each tablet wore a little plastic wrapper. It was essential protection gear against moisture and breakage, practical but unpopular. It wasn't ideal, so behind the scenes we've been working hard. Behold, our new dish tabs have stripped off their wrappers. They sport an invisible superpower and innovative coating. It means we can pack them like sardines to help prevent damage. The new compact box means we're basically only shipping tablets, so they'll reach you box fresh and ready to tackle the dishes. I'm out of breath, sorry. I don't know why I struggle to read that so much. Anyway, look at them. They're just the little tablets like this without the plastic wrapping. Now it does have an asterisk, so I'm assuming the coating has some, where's the asterisk go to? No plastic wrappers on our tabs. Our box has a thin plastic lining to protect the tablets from moisture. So there you go. Really recommend. I'll report back on how they clean the dishes, but I'm sure they'll be fine. I think we've bought ecover dishwasher tablets before, but this is now what I'm gonna get because that is genius. I love technology and engineering like this sort of thing where you solve a really small problem with something just a tiny change. Containing them like this means they don't get messy and fall apart, so you don't need the plastic. Just very clever. Don't know if anyone else has done this, but I'm a fan. Good afternoon. The heat wave is well and truly heat waving. I got back from my midwife appointment and I did a bit of work on my laptop and I just had to sit there because I couldn't concentrate. It was so hot. My hands are so veiny. I mean, can you even see that on camera? I'm not sure. Yeah, it's actually, in a weird way, it's almost like cooler outside. The granite and the granite and the sash windows usually make this house so cool in the summer. Houses used to be designed this way to keep cool in the summer and keep warm in the winter. Really thick granite walls, sash windows, if you didn't know, the Victorian windows. Usually this house is fantastic in the hot weather because the thick granite walls and the sash windows do an incredible job at keeping the house cool in the summer and hot in the winter, which probably, if I was to compare the temperature of this house to someone else's house, if I went around their house, this probably is cooler than theirs. But yeah, I've got the sash windows. If you didn't know, sash windows, if you open them top and bottom, the cold air comes in and the hot air goes out, so it creates kind of like an aircon airflow. But I'm gonna make my rock cakes now so I can show you how I make them. They're so easy and so yummy, but I really want a sweet treat for the weekend, so let's make some rock cakes. So we'll start with flour. I'm gonna use a stand mixer to do this. You don't need a mixer. I've got my Smeg one in the corner. You don't need a mixer, you can do it with a wooden spoon and with your hands. It's just to create like a breadcrumb texture. So we do that with the flour, baking powder and butter, and then it will come to a breadcrumb. So let's start with that first. So we have the butter, flour and baking powder in there, and then I'm just gonna mix this on medium speed until it looks like breadcrumbs. But like I said, if you don't have a mixer, just combine it together with a spoon and then use your fingers to mix it together until it is breadcrumbs and kind of all crumbly. Then add granulated sugar, mixed spice, some dried fruit. I'm using raisins and sultanas, and the zest of an orange. And mix. So now we've got our mixture. We'll add some non-dairy milk in there until it forms a sticky dough. So I add about 2/3 first, it's just a few teaspoons, and then I'll add the last 2 at the end just until it comes together to form a dough. Now we have our mixture. We can just dollop these onto a lined baking tray, and you want to embrace the imperfection. They're rock cakes, so they're meant to look all lumpy and bumpy. So just dollop them on, distribute them out, and don't knead them up. I'll put a picture of kind of what they're supposed to look like, but the recipe will be linked and you'll see that they're meant to look like rocks. Essentially that's where they get their name. And then we'll just finish these off by sprinkling with a little bit of demerara sugar, or you can use granulated sugar. A nice crispy topping. Ta-da! Okay, in they go. Here they are at the oven. Look how good they look. Yeah. So I'm just gonna leave them on a cooling rack, and you can do this by a window if it's really hot like today. So I just opened up the window so it can cool off, and then they can harden up and I can enjoy them with a cup of tea outside. Now it's a little bit cooler. I don't suppose I'll last more than 5 minutes out here. Perfectly cakey in the middle, but then it tastes like a biscuit. A digestive biscuit because of the granulated sugar on top, and then it's got all of the raisins. It's like one of my favourite things. I just really love simple cakes like this, or like biscuits like this. Can you see that? Oh my gosh, is that a little mini hummingbird? It's so tiny. Am I going crazy? That was incredible. Look how fluffy the roses are. I need to deadhead them, but these ones are so fluffy. Look at the fluff. And these ones are amazing too. I love the colour. Oh, just incredible. So hot. We've moved our furniture. Can you see we're now further down? You probably don't even know, but it used to be over there, and I've swapped them because why not? Just fancied a change. I have potted up a peony and then a couple of herbs because the ones that were in there were dead. They lasted a while, but I think I overwatered them because in spring when there was a heat wave I was watering them a lot, and I think that thyme and rosemary and oregano don't like a lot of water, so I won't bother watering those next time. I really want to move this rose that I planted in the grass, but because we don't have like an established flower bed yet, it's just getting covered in grasses that are growing through, so I want to move it behind me here because one of the roses in here died, so trying to pep myself up to do that. So I'll probably move that rose and go inside with Roxy and have a bit of a break and just chill out. But it's so nice. I did just deadhead all the roses and got rid of some of the sort of diseased leaves. No matter what I do, the roses always get those spots on them, and I always cut them off and they always come back. Not really sure why. or good afternoon. It's actually 12:30. Just been to the local car boot sale. I got some good stuff, so I'll show you what I got. Mainly cushions, actually. First, these two cushions, which, am I remembering, it was £2 for both of them. They've got a lovely gingham print with this sort of rope stitching, which is so pretty. I love the shape of them. So these are all going to be for New Lynn, or if not, our home, but I bought them all with New Lynn in mind, because cushions are one of the things I think in a home that make it feel so cozy. So we need cushions for the sofas, for the beds. Yeah, whatever does or doesn't work, I can just have in our house, because there's always going to be space for cushions. This is a nice finger plate, because lots of the doors have the marks where there was a finger plate, but they've been removed, or they've got plastic ones. And this is a lovely ceramic one with a floral print, so this can go on one of the doors, not sure which one. I'm trying to remember which ones need them. And then we've got more cushions. This one needs filling with a different inside, but this is like a lovely cotton sort of ticking stripe cushion. It's just a bit lackluster in the filling. And then this one is a really lovely big one, which would be really great on the sofa, I think, because you want like a nice big cushion sometimes, you know, on the edge of the sofa to lean on. And then I got two more cushions. The cushions are just so good. More stripy kind of blue theme. This one with a lovely textured knit. And all of these were like, I think those two were £2. These two together were like 3 or maybe 5, I don't know, 3 or 4. They're all very cheap, whereas when you get cushions online, you know, they're at least like 5 to 10 quid alone, and that's a cheap cushion. You know, cushions normally are like £15, maybe even more. Obviously, it literally varies so much depending when you buy them. But if I was to get them from like Sainsbury's or Dunelm, which is like a bit cheaper, they'd be 10 quid. So lot cheaper. And then the last one, this lovely red and blue stripe with kind of like a beige. So I really liked this one actually as well. And then I got these lovely 3 boat pictures, so I figured they could be hung maybe in the bathroom or in a like a hallway or a spot where you can hang them one above each other like this, which will be really nice. They were £5 for all 3. I just thought they were very, very pretty. And then the last bits I got were for baby. So there was a stand where the mother obviously had very good taste, and she bought lots of lovely clothes for her children, and she's obviously, I'm assuming they've all grown out of them. So I got some really good things. The first thing that's very cute is this set. So this dress with the little ducks on it, and it's a corduroy material. This is obviously for when she's a lot older. This is for 12 to 18 months, so she's not gonna be in this for a while. But it was too cute to resist because it was a set. So it's polka dot, it's got the lovely ribbon around the waist. And then here's the t-shirt that goes with it, which obviously you can wear underneath. So this is perfect. Well, hopefully it lines up. Well, if it's 12 to 18 months, at some point she can wear this in the winter, because it's obviously lots of layering. And then there's also a cardigan. And look at the cardigan. It's so gorgeous. And the brand is Frugi, which apparently is a lovely, lovely brand. So it's organic cotton. And there's a scallop, and it's embroidered, and there's ducks, and I'm just, how sweet, how sweet. And then this one was too sweet because I figured the size this will be perfect for autumn, and it's got pumpkins all over it. So this will be the first thing I put her in as soon as we get into autumn, and I'm in that mindset of like, I want it to be autumn now. This will fit her hopefully as soon as she arrives, because this is like really for, oh no, it's 6 to 12 months, so actually depends on her size, but it's a dress, and it's got little ducks embroidered on the bottom and then little polka dots. I just thought it was very, very sweet, so adorable. And to be fair, she could still also wear this if it was colder weather with tights and a cardigan, and it would be cute depending on obviously her size. That's the thing I'm finding. I'm not being too strict with sizing because I don't know what size she's going to be. Me and Alex are very tall, but she could be a smaller baby, she could be a longer baby. Likelihood she's going to be a bit longer. This was just adorable, with a little heart on the front. Sorry, it's very overexposed, not sure why. Little frilly pinafore kind of thing. And I love the little wooden buttons. These are very cute trousers. Look at the little saggy bum. How adorable, stripy. And finally this was from Jules. A nice little kind of baby grow. I never really know the names of these things, but adorable. What brands were all of these? What brand was this? See, a lot of these things are just like lovely quality. They're like organic cotton. So this is an organic cotton pair of trousers. What brand is this? Does it even say? This is 100% cotton as well. Little White Company. So she obviously spent quite a good amount of money on these clothes. This is Jojo Mama Bebe. And then this is Clay Beer. So I got all of these for £15, which I thought was a really good price. This alone I think probably would have been like a lot of money. So really lovely clothes. And I know I've got given a lot from my sister, but it's quite nice to have the things you pick and the things that you bought, especially if they're secondhand and affordable. That's the way I've done it. I've only bought like maybe 2 or 3 things brand new because I've been in the shops and thought, oh, that's very sweet. But I've been handed down most and bought secondhand because it's so affordable that it's nice to get the things that you want, but also not buy new things or spend loads of money. So that's my car boot sale haul, and I'm gonna have a big glass of water and have a little sit down for a bit because my back hurts a bit. I had the most incredible crepe. So I did film, so maybe I'll put it here. I think I did feature it just now. There's a crepe van that is in different locations on different days, and I got a video of where they are and when. So if you live in West Cornwall, they have vegan crepes and normal crepes. They have coffees. The coffee was delicious, had an iced coffee. And I know that they're at the Rosudgeon car boot every Wednesday, so I might go to that on Wednesday. And now I know where to get a delicious crepe from. It was so yummy to be able to just get like a vegan chocolate and strawberry crepe. It just felt like a bit of a luxury because it's just like a kind of unusual thing to be able to buy, and usually when you find that kind of a place they don't do a vegan one. This morning I had such a nice morning actually. I think I filmed a clip, but I sat outside first thing. I realised I was spending my mornings like inside, and it's really like lovely weather at the minute and it's warm. I thought, well, I may as well just do this what I do in the mornings but outside. I don't know why I haven't been doing that. So I sat outside, had a cup of coffee, I did my 5-minute journal, I wrote in my like little pregnancy journal, and I did my headspace meditation. They have one on there for birth prep. I didn't realise I hadn't found that one, but I was scrolling through because I've got so much on there, and I found one for birth prep. So I've started that course now, and it's like a meditation that you can do daily. I'm sure that they'll include breathing exercises you can use during birth. And yeah, it was such a nice start to the day just hearing the birds because they're so loud first thing. It was the summer solstice yesterday. So it was just, the most lovely start to the day, and it's really put me in a positive, happy mood. We're off out again. I'm gonna go meet my sister. Where's the lighting? I'm just in the sun, you can't see me. I'm gonna go meet my sister and niece, and we're gonna go get ice cream, look in some charity shops because it's such a nice day. And I managed to weed about four or six beds, I can't remember. But it is very hot. It's almost too hot to be gardening, especially being pregnant. It just makes you feel so hot. So I have to do it in bits, and so it's nice to get out and cool off and do something in town. So let's go. That was a lovely couple of hours with my sister and niece. If you ever come to Hale, Iced on the Quay is lovely. for ice cream and sundaes, smoothies, that kind of thing. And it's right next to Philps, which again is lovely. It's probably my favourite pasty shop, at least for vegan pasties. And I know it's pretty much everyone who's local's favourite pasty shop. There's also the Cornish oven. I personally prefer Philps. And in Newlyn, there's Aunt May's, which I had for the first time the other day. And it is a very, very strong contender for Philps. It's very different. It tastes almost like, the way I describe it would be as if someone had just made it from scratch at home and given it to you. The pastry's more like soft and flaky, whereas Philps is like a harder pasty like crust, which they're both so delicious. But really great place to go if you want to try a different beach, like Hale Beach, Hale Towers, and Godrevy, Gwithian. It's like a massive beach. It's my personal favourite beach in Cornwall because it's huge. There's so many sections to it. You can get to it from lots of different spots. And if it's low tide, you can walk and walk and walk. And it's got rock pools. There's some cafes and pubs along the coastline. There's coastal paths. You can access it, like I said, from Hale or from Gwithian. So that's a recommendation. But you could totally go to Hale Towers. There's a lovely restaurant, sorry, literally on the beach, but there's also Philps and Iced on the Quay. We went to a charity shop in Hale and I got a couple books. These are very cool. So first is this one, The Mousel Cat, which I remember from when I was younger, and Charlie pointed it out to me and I was like, oh my gosh, I remember this. I feel like I've got it. I'm a bit worried now, I've got it upstairs. But I'm going to put this in Kittiwake in Newlyn until little girl's old enough for me to be able to read this to her. And then these two books are so beautiful. So this is the illustrated book of herbs and birds. But the first one I picked up was this one because look inside. This is my dream. I don't know what it is about botanical drawings. I just am obsessed with them. I could frame these. In fact, I'm tempted to like cut out some of my favourite ones and frame them because is there anything better than illustrated drawings of plants? And this is a good one, like a coffee table one. I want to do this more. I've got so many lovely books. I don't take the time to sit and read them. Like, sorry, Roxy's now drinking water. I think I'm going to make an effort, a concerted effort, when I'm on my phone to go, nope, stop scrolling. What are you scrolling for? There's no reason. If there's no reason, to pick up one of my lovely books that I collect and I think I want to have a look at, like this, and just have a quick browse. Because sometimes it's quite nice to just sit down and just aimlessly browse this sort of stuff, and I don't do that. And you can learn so much. And then this one I wanted to get because if I see a bird in our garden, there was a bird in our garden this morning that was orange, and I was like, oh my goodness, what bird is that? I know you can just Google it, but having a book with all the illustrations, like look how gorgeous this is. And for children, like I said to B, because she was like, what books did you get? And I was like, oh, we can have a look through it next time. Barn owls, kingfishers. What a lovely book. My dad would love this book. So that's nice little note. That was £2.50, this was £3.50, and this was £1. So I've had such a good bargain day of shopping. Now I'm gonna have a sit down, have a glass of water. Alex is gonna be here probably about an hour-ish. Might do a bit of tidying. Oh, I did just get another delivery actually. So my sister did give me one of these, but I think it may have accidentally ended in the attic or somewhere. And my body hurts too much to not have one now. I got a birthing ball because my friend was like, if you're aching, just get a birthing ball and sit on that when you're like working or just in the daytime. Like even watching TV, I get a bit uncomfortable sitting on the sofa. So I got myself a birthing ball instead. And they had different colours. I think I got a sage green one. And I'm sure, now I've bought this, I'm going to find the one my sister lent me straight away. But yeah, I just really wanted one because I thought in the evenings, because it's not comfortable to sit for a long period of time. Is this green? I swear I ordered green. This looks grey. Anyway, it comes with a pump, so I'm going to pump this up so I can actually start using it. And I even saved, I was going to do that today. I saved the workout on Instagram yesterday that I can start doing. Maybe I can start doing it from tomorrow. and in it she was using a ball, and I thought, well, I can do that because I'm a bit scared to start doing like strength training with actual weights, because that's when I did my back. So yeah, this is definitely not green. It smells like nail polish. Whoa. Yes, I will pump that up this evening, or I'll get Alex to do that for me actually. And I'm gonna have a little sit down now.